Hey guys, Deep Days Away Shopworks here, and on this video we're gonna take a look at fuel injection versus carburetors in the wintertime. So you get there's several options out there, right? Like there's people that do drive carburetors in the wintertime. There's all year round, depending on your weather. There's people that say you can't because they don't work right. And you know, then there's fuel injection. You just jump in, turn the key. But there are some other considerations as well. So let me get geared up here. We're going to go out to my old 78 Dodge, which I daily drive to and from work, and we're going to go fire that thing up. And there we are, all geared up. All right, for context, it is currently minus 23 degrees Celsius, which works out to about minus 7 degrees Fahrenheit. So we are well below zero. And as you can see by my yard, we got plenty of snow. There's about 18 inches of snow on the car trailer sitting there. And she's chilly day. It's clear though, and not much wind. It was a little bit windier earlier, and that is not enjoyable. The wind chill is real, my friends. And I have got a lot of snow removal to do today. But first, we're gonna start with the old Dodge. Whew. All right, here she is. Now, as you can see, the old workhorse Dakota is plugged in, and my truck is plugged in. That is, of course, the block heater that I replaced back about a month and a half ago, maybe. And I'm certainly glad I did. Dust the snow off the old girl. Whew. There we go. Now, to be honest, I'm not going to sit out here too long without my snow pants and a little bit warmer gear. But in we go. Oh, burr. Okay. Now, I am not going to touch the gas pedal at all. And we're going to see what it does. Turn the radio off. It's running. That is no gas pedal, like no pump shot to prime. And we do a little walk around here. And that is sitting at a relatively low idle. This carburetor, I had to disable the high idle on choke because it wouldn't release properly. I went through the carburetor and checked everything out, but it just wouldn't release down to the lowest setting. So I ended up just pulling the screw out of the stepper wheel, or cam, the stepper cam. All right, close. We're gonna let that run and warm up a little bit. That's all I do. I come out in the mornings, I hit the key. The odd time I've had to give it an extra pump of fuel. There's been a couple of minus 28 to minus 30 days Celsius, but overall, not a big worry. So that would be the only difference in what I just did right now. Now also too, I don't actually have to let that truck idle and run and warm up. I do it for a couple of reasons. One, it does make for slightly better drivability. I'll turn on my little heater here. Yes. Anyway, it does make for slightly nicer drivability. to let it warm up. But I have left my driveway after firing up and letting it run for about 30 seconds, back up, turn around, and drive to work. And then there's days that I've let it warm up as well. I like the days I let it warm up a little bit more. Like, it is plugged in, the block heater is plugged in. So with the block heater plugged in, that gives the engine some heat in the block. Now, if I tried to fire this thing up in minus 30 without it plugged in, yeah, there would be issues. Even the engine oil is slightly, just a few degrees warmer than if it wasn't plugged in. And that creates sluggish cranking, really taxes the battery hard. But those are the things that you would do back when this truck was brand new. You'd plug it in the wintertime, and you'd fire it up, and you would drive it to work, and you would drive it home, or you would take it to the dump, or you would take it wherever and do your stuff. There's no magical time barrier for when carburetors stopped being a useful, efficient way to get your vehicle going. At some point along the lines, we all kind of fell into the trap of fuel injection is the only way to go, and it's not. There's slightly finer metering points, but the whole carburetor being a toilet bowl style fuel system, that is a complete myth as well. Heck, I was even taught that in school during my apprenticeship. That's how they describe a carburetor's operation. And if you've ever watched a carburetor operating, say on a dyno, and you get the nice overhead view, it can tell you that is fully metered fuel. Is it as fine a mist? No, but when you can have carburetor vehicles having the same fuel economy and the same air fuel ratios as fuel injected vehicles, and vice versa, and same power outputs and whatnot, who cares if it's slightly metered a little bit better? I like my carburetors, and I love having a good running carburetor, and that's how I feel about that. Not long ago, I was running my old 88 Ram Charger, and it was a cammed up 360 with mildly ported heads. Stock compression, it was around, well, with those heads, it was about 8.8 to 1 compression. And I drove that thing to and from work every single day in town, where it never really got a lot of warm-up time. That carburetor was a Holley 600 series vacuum secondaries classic with an electric choke, and that carburetor got one full to the floor pump of the gas and then hit the key and fired up. One pump was normally enough. There was a few colder days I had to do 2 pumps, but you also had to be careful. Anything more than that and it was liable to flood. Those are the small differences. You gotta have a little bit of forethought when it comes to just jumping in your vehicle. If you don't know what vehicle it is, you could easily flood out a carbureted vehicle, but you can flood out fuel injected vehicles. If you've got a fuel injected truck or car and it's cold as heck out, and you go to fire it up on your remote starter, which most people do, and it doesn't start right away, and then the remote starter tries again, well, you better not try it any more times. Those 2 times were your warning, because you've flooded the cylinders with the initial shot of fuel from the injectors. So you better put your pants on, get your butt outside, hold the gas pedal to the floor to cut out the injectors, and start cranking on it. Crank on that engine until it starts to clear up a little bit and give a few fire ups on a few cylinders, and then you can go ahead and shut the key off, or take your foot off the gas, sorry, and then crank it to life. And it'll be a little cranky, it'll be like a flooded out carburetor. Flooded out fuel injection is a real thing. But these are generally cold weather winter issues, and I'm living in cold weather winter area. So now let's go back outside and take a look at how the truck is running. It's been 4 minutes. Hang on a sec here. Let's see if I can. Alright, it's been about 7 minutes, maybe 6. Oh, the weather outside it's just cold. That's all. Nothing crazy. Well, listen to her. She is just purring away. Doesn't that sound like a happy engine? Now, part of the reason why I didn't just shut it off or shut it off right after firing it up, you don't want to do that with any engine when it's minus a lot out, because the cylinders haven't had a chance to really heat up, and you don't get to well, it'll flood it out. It'll make it harder to start the next time, and I got to start this thing tomorrow morning at about 7:05 in the morning to go to work. So there we have that. Make sure I didn't lose the key there. My old 1978 Dodge. Wait a minute. I'm a 1978. Dodge is a 19. My young 1978 Dodge is just happy as a clam, firing up and running and driving my butt to work every single day. 2-wheel drive pickup truck. I got about 300 pounds of sandbags in the back of it, and winter studded directional tread snow tires. That's all you got to do. You got to play it smart. Think ahead. Get your vehicle prepped. Know what you're doing when it comes to tweaking and tuning. Or at least fake it till you make it. No, I hate fake it till you make it. Never mind. But long story short, guys, that's my video. That's my proof that there is no problems running a carbureted vehicle all year round, because I do it every day. Alright, I'm Dave from Dave's Glory Shopworks. Appreciate all of you. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.